Greetings and welcome, my viewers. I'm Seth Kiparis, the cynical crud, and this is my first anime review. I watched this anime 2 years ago with the English dub, and I was fairly entertained by it. It had some fun moments, the presentation was really well made, the futuristic look was appealing to me, mecha fights were well choreographed, and the characters, at their base design and value, were interesting. However, as time passed, I realized it could have been so much more. I thought about it more, talked with my brother about it, and we came to the conclusion that it was fun, but underwhelming. A lot of potential that was lost. But enough drabbling around, it's time to review it the proper way. Infinite Stratos is a mecha harem comedy romance anime. Oh boy, harem, this will be good. The world is enjoying peace on a global scale because of an exoskeleton known as Infinite Stratos, referred to as IS. It is so powerful it renders the armed forces useless. The exoskeleton in question can fly, engage in close and ranged combat while providing excellent protection for the pilot. What's the catch? Wouldn't such invention make World War III even more possible? It would, if males could operate it. The IS can only be manned by females, it doesn't react to men. This changes the social structure across the world, with women now being dominant to the point that a woman can beat up a man in the middle of the street in broad daylight and the police won't bat an eye, because she can pilot a death machine. To prevent the usage of the IS in military engagements, the Alaska Treaty was signed decreeing that the IS can only be used in competitive sports. That's like me telling tanks can only be used for racing and demolition works, but let's fly with it. Everything is well until Ichika Orimura, the protagonist, activates a IS. He is sent to the IS Academy surrounded by girls. Hilarity ensues. Well, not really. Jokes usually revolve around Ichika getting in a situation in which he receives physical pain because he said something that irritated the girls or did something wrong, like stumbling into one while getting out of a shower. It might be fun at first, but it will bore you and irritate you fast because how the characters act, but I'll cover that later. The story is simple. Ichika is sent to the IS Academy and now he has to learn how to pilot an IS. Later in the anime there is some deeper story about unmanned ISs, but it doesn't get enough time, hence it isn't interesting. The story both in the light novels and anime has a slower pace than a snail climbing a tree. Now let's see the characters. I'll try to keep this short as there's a decent amount of characters. Ichika Orimura, the protagonist, friendly towards others and helpful. The cardinal sin he commits is that he lacks both a spine and a brain. Somehow he doesn't realize that the whole academy of girls is interested in him, and he lacks an attitude when another character is more aggressive towards him. This infuriates me because a character that is dumb but strong, or a character that is spineless but smart, can influence other characters, changing the story and character development. Not the case here. Other than that, he wants to become stronger so he can protect his friends and family. Next up, Hoki Shinonono. Interesting fact, Hoki in Japanese means broom, so I will call her Mappi. Mappi is a childhood friend of Ichika and a tsundere. It is a person who is unfriendly towards the protagonist, but secretly loves him. The general rule is that as time passes, tsundere characters become more friendly towards the protagonist. This isn't the case here. Mappi from the beginning of the season is the same Mappi you will see at the end of the season. That said, she does have the behavior of a samurai, evident in her use of the bokken, composure, and attitude. She also lacks confidence in her femininity due to the behavior she exercises. Chifuyu Orimura is the older sister of Ichika and his teacher. She has the attitude of a Spartan and the behavior of a sergeant. She is strict but caring. She has a tendency of hitting annoying students in the head with either her hand or her clipboard of doom. She is exceptionally capable in combat, with or without an IS. Cecilia Alcott is the blonde, arrogant British girl. Didn't see that coming. Her arrogance aside, she knows IST really well and acts like a lady. She is a cadet representative of Great Britain, meaning she represents her country in the academy and has her own personal IS. Initially she doesn't like Ichika, but after their first match she shows respect and affection towards him. Charlotte Dunois is the well-meaning girl and the cadet representative of France. She seems to be the most normal and stable of the girls. She is caring and friendly even towards her rivals, a bit shy here and there. Of all the girls, she harms Ichika the least. Linguin Huan, called Rin, is Ichika's childhood friend and cadet representative of China. She is a yandere. It is a person that loves another person so much that she is willing to kill others to keep him for herself. She also won't hesitate to kill her love if she deems it necessary. Rin is a bit pushy, easily riled up and offended by others. Her arrogance is second to Cecilia's, and her behavior tends to be that of a child, energetic and immature. Laura Bodwick is the German super soldier's stereotype. I'm not joking. She acts like a soldier, speaks like a soldier, and has little to no social intelligence. For example, in one episode she declares Ichika her wife. Granted, she got the info from one of her squad mates back in Germany, but considering that the squad mate in question got the source from a manga, it is as reliable as a low-quality assault rifle. She's tough, simple-minded, and stiff, a character that is discovering herself. Maya Mada is the green-haired teacher. She is calm, easily startled, and definitely more relaxed compared to Chifuyu. She is skilled in the use of the IS and is generally more friendly to students than Chifuyu, but she is also more teased by them. Tabane Shinonono is the older sister of Mappi and the creator of Infinite Stratos. Yes, my audacious viewers, this is the person responsible for creating the exoskeleton that replaced the armed forces, essentially. She dresses like Alice from Wonderland and acts like a child, friendly towards Ichika, Chifuyu and Mappi, cold towards others. That would be all the important characters. And you know what? The characters don't change. The description I provided you is as valid at the start of the season as it is at the end. Sure, there might be some situations in which things are serious and they don't act like they usually do. Situations in which they show emotion, they elevate their characters. But the problem is that after the situation is over, they revert back to their original types of characters. Nothing changed and status quo has not been disturbed. This stretches my nerves to such extent that I want to backhand the author of the light novels. Why? Because events and interactions that should change characters don't last in the future. I'll give an example for you. Ichika Rimura was kidnapped when he was a child. His sister abandoned the Mondo Grosso, a global tournament for ice competition, and saved him. This gave him more reason to become stronger, but why didn't it impact him more? He was 5 years old, held in a dark, isolated location. You would think that this would make him insecure, a bit shattered, paranoid perhaps. But no, 10 years later, he's fine. I read a fan fiction that depicted Ichika as a capable but paranoid individual. He was smart and strong, but he simply didn't trust people. In that fanfiction, if you touched him on the shoulder from behind, he would throw you on the floor. He also had nightmares and had to take medications to suppress them. That's how much that kidnapping impacted him in that fanfiction. Was it dark? Yes. Different? Absolutely. Would I like it? To an extent, I would. Is it interesting? Hell yeah, it is. But Ichika isn't the only one guilty of this. The ladies also have their dark past that should impact their character development, but alas, it must be kept light-hearted, for God forbid something dramatic happen in this dull and slow anime. Issues are swept under the rug, never to be resolved. Same applies to the universe that is created. It is a blend of the real world with the futuristic technology. The fact that women are the dominant figure in society gives so much potential to show interesting situations. What could happen, how interactions exchange between women and men, how people would react to the social change, would there be groups against the new order, how it would have been handled. The possibilities are endless. What do we get? A dense, spineless protagonist surrounded with stereotypical girls with a romance comedy that is as complex as a tower of cards. But what about the mecha battles? I have to say, the battles are interesting to watch. Each IS has different weapons, abilities, and fighting capabilities. Some are melee, others are ranged focused, with hybrids filling the middle. Ichika's IS is melee focused, with a blade that can take out his opponent in one strike with his special ability. The problem is that it drains his energy from his shields. Cecilia's IS is excellent at range combat, with an energy rifle, combat drones and rockets. Abilities also mix things up, like boosters used for fast strikes, energy shields that immobilize projectiles and other objects, charging up someone's shield to the max, etc. Presentation is excellent and sharp. Futuristic colors makes it stand out, with different locations like arenas showing a part of the world in the future. Characters look good, facial expressions and details in clothes are well done. All in all, I am satisfied. I like it. Voice acting is good. Some might say that the English dub is inferior to the Japanese, but consider the following. You have characters of different nationalities here, so you have different accents, and different accents are better executed in English dub than in the Japanese dub. But whichever dub you listen, it won't make your ears bleed. Music is also above average. The intro and outro songs are fun to listen to, with other soundtracks portraying the atmosphere of the situation at hand really well. When it is emotional, it really is a good music for emotional situation. When it is action-packed and tense, then the music reflects that rather well. All in all, the soundtrack is well executed. But the main problem with the structure of the anime, besides its unused potential, is that it is mostly filler, around 70%. To translate that, that means that most of the episodes you watch don't have anything important to show. Same applies to IS combat. For an anime called after its combat exoskeleton, the reasonable expectation would be to have more mecha battles. How many fights happen? Around 5, I think. This is like Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor, in which it is centered around mostly uninterested characters, and then when the main thing happens, it lasts for 10 minutes. See what I meant when I said that this anime had a lot of potential? It dropped it, like a cargo on a car. The setting, characters, their past, the technology, the tackling of different subjects, such as equality, dominance, gender roles, it all had the potential to be so much more. And that is sad. Everything said and considered, I have to give this anime a 4 out of 10. It is not bad, it is shallow, raw, unrealized. It has style, but no substance. It has interesting characters, but no character development. It has powerful exoskeletons with vast capabilities, but little combat. At the very least, fanfictions show better quality in story and characters, which is nice. Thank you all for watching my first anime review. If you liked it, drop a like and a comment. This has been the Cynical Crowd, wishing you a pleasant day, signing off.